Welcome back. Bafana Bafana coach Stuart Baxter has made it very clear that his team won't be going for a draw against Libya. The Englishman made that statement today after announcing his 24-man squad ahead of their crucial Afcon qualifier. The 24th of March encounter will be played at a neutral venue in Tunisia due to security concerns in Libya. ENC's sports reporter Tshepo Thobane was at that team announcement and joins me now in studio. Tshepo, first of all, I guess the big surprise is the inclusion of French-based players, the likes of Bongani Zungu and Keegan Dolly. Any logical explanation given that they have been recovering from injuries?
Hello, Ronald. When we asked the coach to explain the reasoning behind calling those two players, we know their quality. Those Keegan Dolly plays at the highest league, one of the highest top leagues in the world, in the French league, also Zungu. But his explanation was that as much as these players have not been getting a lot of game time, but they have been playing in their reserve team. So he is calling them. He's not promising that he's going to be playing them. In fact, those are part of the two players that are going to be assessed in their camp ahead of that match. So he'll make a decision based on how they respond to especially when it comes to matters of fitness. International football is definitely not the same when compared to reserve football. So it remains to be seen how the decision that he's going to be taking around those two players.
Tshepo, let's break down the squad for a moment, starting with the goalkeepers. Huge responsibility on the shoulders of at least one of the three goalkeepers selected, given that Itumeleng Khune is still nursing injury. Just your thoughts, do you feel that Kit or Ronwen Williams will get a chance?
Getting a sense on what Baxter said about these two goalkeepers. Yes, included also the Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper, Bryce Vuma. But he made it clear that Vuma is only going there. He's not going to be considered in terms of being the number one or fighting for the number one jersey. It is up to the two keepers you mentioned, Kit and Williams. And for me, or getting a sense on what he said about the two, it looks like Ronwen Williams might get the nod, might be in goals when we play against Libya. For the fact that you look at the two keepers, especially when you look at their club form, it has not been impressive for Kit. At Vets, lately the results are not going their ways. But for Ronwen Williams, who has played very well, in fact, his last game for Bafana was that international friendly against Paraguay, who, according to me, he played very well. So I expect him to, and he's got the experience. He's been there for a while, and age-wise also, if you compare him to Kit and Khune, he's sort of like an upcoming goalkeeper. He's a promising goalkeeper that you always wanted him to maybe replace Khune at some stage. But unfortunately for him, that is Williams, the games that he played prior to or when Khune was injured, he has not been impressive up until that game against Paraguay. Also the same to Kit. I think maybe the problem is that Khune set the bar so high that it's very difficult for the two goalkeepers to compete with him.
Let's talk a bit about the Kaizer Chiefs goalkeeper, Vuma. Do you believe that he's the best number 3 goalkeeper? Because social media certainly don't believe that.
Well, according to Baxter's explanation, in terms of age-wise, that's why he decided to go for him. And like I said, he made it very clear that he's not going to challenge the two goalkeepers for the number 1 spot. But Vuma, if we remember, he has been in the Bafana setup. He was number 1 during the Chen games and also the Kosafa games. So that's the reason that Baxter decided to go with him, because he's familiar with the Bafana setup. So we don't know. But in terms of him, he only played 1 game over the weekend for Kaizer Chiefs, but also he has been playing in the reserve league for Kaizer Chiefs. So it remains to be seen how the team or how he's going to challenge and push the two goalkeepers that are in the squad right now, because currently his job is just to push them. We'll see how it's going to work out.
Baxter remains defiant that the team won't be parking the bus against Libya. Looking at the defense, we're seeing the likes of young Rivaldo Coetzee back, a guy who was also injured. Just your thoughts on the defense. Is that the best defensive unit that Bafana or Baxter could have selected?
There's Rivaldo Coetzee and there's also Cardoso from Kaizer Chiefs also in that center of defense. But looking at the road that Bafana played, looking at the group games, the 5 group games they played, it's been a bit versus defense. It's been Mkhwanazi and Tyson, the captain, and also Hlanti on the left-hand side. So, and they've conceded only 1 goal in 5 games, and that was against Nigeria when we threw them here at FNB Stadium. So, based on those reports, you can say it's been good for us. I think it's a final game. Let's go with the tried and tested. Yes, Vets have not been doing well lately in their club football, and those are the defenders that are playing regularly for Vets. So he started with those defenders, that is Mkhwanazi and Tyson and Hlanti. So I expect him to continue with them. And of course, including Tamim Kiza of Cape Town City on the right. So we'll see how it will work out. But for me, because they've conceded only 1 goal in 5 games, the same defenders, I expect them to continue.
Let's break down the midfield and the strikers. Anyone that Baxter, you feel that Baxter left out?
When I went to the presser earlier today, the first name that I expected to be in the squad was of the striker from Cape Town City, that is Kemit Erasmus. I mean, Kemit Erasmus, he's 28. He's got the knowledge. He's played at the highest level. He played for Pirates in the CAF Champions League. He's also played overseas. He's got the experience. And lately now, he played 3 games and scored 3 goals. So that's a striker. I'm very surprised and a little bit disappointed that he's not part of the squad. But looking at other players also, maybe moving back a little bit to the defense, there's Thapelo Morena of Mamelodi Sundowns, who's playing very well, especially when you look at the only player that we have now is on the right-hand side is Tamim Kize. He does not have that experience. We expect Thapelo Morena, who's continuously playing in the Champions League, to play there. But in the midfield, it looks solid, and up front also, it looks solid.
Tshepo, in closing, give us a sense of what's at stake here, because we're talking about South African football. Amajita are through to the World Cup. Banyana Banyana are through to their World Cup. Bafana Bafana still fighting for a spot to go to Afcon. Is this how big is this game? In
fact, that's the question that I asked Baxter today. That the momentum of South African football is up. You don't want a Bafana Bafana, that is the main team, to falter at the last hurdle. Here, all you need to do to qualify for Afcon is a point. That's playing a draw. We're going away. Yes, we are playing in unfamiliar territory in Tunisia. But, against Libya, yes, looking at the past results, we have been taking a lot of teams lightly. That is why we went to Seychelles away and played a draw. But this is an opportunity, especially for Baxter also, to bring back the smiles to South African football lovers, especially Bafana lovers. You go there, it's not much. In fact, I was asking him, who's under pressure here? Is it Libya, who know that they have to win that game, or us, who know that we only need 1 point? And then he said, it's Libya who need 3 points. So we'll see how that is going to work out.
And just very briefly, the team does leave on the 16th of March. Any reason why they're leaving so early?
They will have a full week of preparation, so no excuses for Baxter there. They're leaving on Saturday so that they can familiarize themselves with the conditions there in Tunisia. So I think it's a big plus. And remember, the PSL League games that were scheduled to be played next week have been postponed to allow the national team to prepare very well for the tournament or for that game against Libya. So it's no excuses for Baxter in this one. We must qualify for Afcon.
No excuses indeed. And the other good news is that this game will actually be played on grass and not on AstroTurf, which will be conducive for South Africa. Tshepo, thank you for your thoughts. That was my colleague, ENSA sports reporter Tshepo Thobane, chatting to us in studio following Bafana Bafana's squad announcement to face Libya.